Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, December 23rd. I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, a Morgan State University student who was killed by an alleged drunk driver was laid to rest today. His funeral drew hundreds of his fellow students as well as relatives from his native Nigeria. Byron Scott has our story.
We have prayed together. Amen.
Zion Baptist Church was filled to capacity this morning as friends and family gathered to say a final farewell to Adadire Ososanya, the Morgan State University student who died in an alleged drunk driving accident.
It's still kind of hard for me to process.
Toyosi Somoyiwa is Ososanya's god sister.
It's still hard for me, so I'm just trying to, just be there with family as much as possible, just so we can all get through it.
A young man came racing across the campus.
Ososanya was remembered as a smart, energetic young man who loved photography.
He was the epitome of our motto at Morgan, growing the future and leading the world.
This is where that accident happened last Thursday night at around 10:30. We are in Upper Marlboro. You take a look over here. This is Route 202. Now, the impact happened right here at the intersection of Old Largo Road and Town Farm Road. Now, if you take a look here on the road surface, you can still see some of the skid marks. This is where that young man died. Describe.
He was swerving throughout the lanes, just swaying back and forth.
Alexis Fairweather and her boyfriend Maurice Johnson witnessed the accident. Johnson says he called 911.
And I told him that I feared that either he was going to crash or he was going to hurt somebody.
The impact was intense. The gentleman who is now, I guess, under investigation, James, his car actually caught on fire. So I ran to his vehicle and my boyfriend ran to the young boy's vehicle to make sure that he was okay. And James was stuck in his car.
31-year-old James Calero faced several charges, including DUI, but prosecutors dropped all of them until the investigation is complete. They are considering more significant charges.
I actually found out the morning after it happened. A buddy of mine contacted me the next morning, seeing if I heard, and at the time I hadn't heard the news, so he was the first one to tell me.
We're going to miss him.
England Arden, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Thank you, Byron, for that report. Well, a Prince George's County judge makes history, filling a vacancy on the Maryland Court of Appeals. The Honorable Michelle Houghton took the oath of office Tuesday during a ceremony in Annapolis. She is the fifth woman on the 7-judge panel. CTV News was granted rare access inside the county circuit court today for an interview with Houghton. Rochelle Metzger reports.
Judge Michelle Houghton is excited about her new role on the Maryland Court of Appeals.
I never would have imagined that I could accomplish this goal. It was just awesome.
Officially sworn in on Tuesday before family, fellow judges, lawyers, and lawmakers, the 61-year-old is the first African-American and the first woman from Prince George's County to serve on Maryland's highest court.
Maybe I was about 6. Watching Perry Mason, and I thought, I want to do that. I want to advocate. I want to pay close attention to detail and help other people. And I was told that an African American can't possibly achieve that, much less a woman.
Governor Larry Hogan appointed Houghton, whom he calls impeccably prepared, one of only a handful of jurists to serve at all 4 levels of the state's judicial branch.
It's such a humbling experience and such an honor because I don't see anything particularly special about my story or my experience. We all come with different shades of experiences.
Houghton says growing up poor in Southeast Washington, raised by a single mother, gives her a unique perspective on the bench.
I think each judge comes to the bench equipped with their experiences, their life experiences, their perspectives. It comes to bear when you have a human being in front of you, and hopefully you can filter what you need to filter out so that you can be open and fair as you're considering each human being that comes in front of you.
Houghton says her mother taught her to work hard and to believe in herself, something she now tries to pass on to the young people in her courtroom.
Believe in yourself, which is a little difficult because at that age, you're not really sure who you are and what you want to be, but I think you need to believe in who you are and decide what you want to accomplish, and remember that nothing is impossible.
And Judge Houghton has served on the bench for 21 years, most recently on the Maryland Court of Special Appeals. She has also served on both the circuit and district courts for Prince George's County. Previously, she worked as a prosecutor and in private practice. Well, for the first time in 6 years, it may take less money to fill up your tank during the holidays. The average price for regular unleaded gasoline is currently less than $2 a gallon across the Washington metro area. Now, according to AAA Mid-Atlantic, about 2.5 million people are expected to travel 50 miles or more from where they live. CTV spoke with some local drivers about the recent decrease in fuel expenses.
This is probably the first time that it's not bothering me as much because it's still affordable. Normally when it increases, I get very upset, but I find myself driving around saying, hey, I don't want to pay $2.19 for gas over there because that's pretty expensive. But who would have thought that we would say something like that 4 or 5 years ago? So
I'm not doing too much travel this season. Not because of gas prices, just having people over to the house versus going away. It's good for the budget, it allows you to take money and put it other places. It seems like it was outrageously high before, so I think this is a good time for gas prices to be low, around this time when people need more for their homes.
And the busiest travel day is typically 2 days before Christmas. Well, the Prince George's Fire Department was busy battling 3 residential fires yesterday. Emergency personnel tackled the first blaze, which happened in the 3900 block of Billings Place in Suitland about 4:30 p.m. Officials say the incident began on the first level in the kitchen and expanded to the second floor. The homeowners lost their dog in that fire. Damages are estimated at $150,000. Roughly an hour later, crews responded to a fire in the 1100 block of Balboa Avenue in Capitol Heights. The blaze started in a utility closet in the home, and the third fire occurred in the 7500 block of Abington Drive in Oxon Hill, where the fire started in the living room. No one was hurt in any of the incidents.